San Jose Sharks News Flash.
From SAP Center at San Jose, a momentous day in the history of the San Jose Sharks. I'm Dan Rusanowski, joined by Ted Ramey here at the concourse level of the Shark Tank for a momentous announcement involving the career of Logan Couture. Logan met with Mike Grier and has selected to have this news conference to tell us all about it, Ted. And realistically, as we look at Logan Couture's career, there's nothing but great respect and great joy and great love that everybody has for him.
Captain Clutch, Dan. The many moments we think of with Logan Couture and the just overall mentality he's had his entire career. I can remember him bursting onto the scene as a rookie and just watching him consistently perform day after day, game after game. There's a reason he became the captain. Of course, the way that he performed in the playoffs season after season, one of the top performers. The guy cemented himself as a legend with the San Jose Sharks.
Well, you take a look at his NHL career, 933 games, just short of his 1,000, 323 goals, 701 points, and that last single point was one that he got in the 6 games that he played last season. It's been a tough couple of years for Logan. He's been dealing with a very serious condition, osteitis pubis, which is something that has kept him off the ice, but it really affects more than just his hockey and athletic career. It affects his whole life.
It does, and he told us, around the start of this season how it was painful for him on days when he was having trouble getting out of bed, and obviously when you're a father with young children, that's something that you want to avoid, and there are other things in life than just hockey, Dan, and you want to make sure that you can enjoy that quality of life, because a player of his stature, he's worked so hard up to this point of his career. It can't just all be about the hockey. There is a life after hockey, which I think, is an influencing factor as well. But obviously for him and everything that he's been going through, I imagine for Logan, it's been so very difficult to be off the ice, because so many of those games, Dan, when you're still doing your post-game show, but, we would go down into the dressing room after and we'd see Logan, and he'd either be ready to talk to us about how well the team played, or he'd give us the 1,000-yard stare, knowing that he was not too happy with the performance, but always the consummate professional. He would give us a very unfiltered and very honest take about what he saw over the 60 minutes and sometimes a little bit more that happened out there on the ice.
Well, he was always straight up about that and always straight up about his role in the entire picture, too. This is a guy that's a consummate leader, and he always has been his entire life. 4 years with the Ottawa 67s of the Ontario Hockey League, played for the legendary coach Brian Kilray. That was really where the genesis of it all started for him. His dad, Chet, an outstanding lacrosse player and ref. He's related to the Tavares family in a sense that they are also great lacrosse and hockey players. So he has had a great rivalry with John Tavares and the entire family, and a great friendship too. And that's something else that brought his leadership role to the fore. But he became a member of the San Jose Sharks back in the 29-10 season, played 25 games that particular year, and his very first National Hockey League goal was a big one against the Detroit Red Wings.
Here comes the rush for Callahan in his first game as a Shark. Cross the line, drop the back. Here's a quick shot. Score! Logan Couture takes a pass from Joe Callahan, and from the right circle, Logan Couture scores his first National Hockey League goal at Joe Louis Arena in Detroit. The Sharks lead it 1-0.
What a way to do it against the Detroit Red Wings, and at the Joe against Chris Osgood, the legendary goaltender for the Wings. Joe Callahan, in one of his first games as a Shark, got the primary assist, but Joe Thornton also figured in on that very first goal that Logan ever scored. And, of course, what a great relationship those two have had over the years. And, in fact, Joe Thornton is among the many alumni and people that are here today.
Yeah, we see Joe Thornton here today. We see Patrick Marleau. We see Mike Ricci. We see so many greats that are associated with the San Jose Sharks. And because they all have such a high level of respect for Logan Couture. I remember before we started working together, Dan, when I would just have you on for interviews, one of the first things you ever told me is that you will not find anyone more competitive than Logan Couture. And I think that was very easy to see. You go down there in the dressing room after the games, you see the way that he would play through pain out there on the ice, the way that he would always just go to the extremes to try and help the Sharks get a win. It's hard to ignore that. And that's, when you talk to, whether it's a Joe Thornton or whether it's so many other greats that you talk to around the NHL, the level of respect that they have for Logan Couture to a man, that didn't happen by accident. I'll put it that way. These guys all know exactly the way that he gave up his body out there on the ice and how hard he played. And I think that just goes back to talking about his performance in the playoffs earlier. I mean, that doesn't happen by accident. His postseason performance was about as good as you can possibly ask for.
Well, that's right, and he was a consummate player in the playoffs. That where he was at his greatest strength. So it is a little unfortunate that the last 6 years we haven't seen that because of where the Sharks organization is right now in its state of rebuild. But way back in 2015-16, he played 24 games in that playoff and magically scored 30 points, which is still an incredible number. And you go back even to the games that the Sharks absolutely had to win. Down in the series, the Penguins had the Stanley Cup in the building. It was in Pittsburgh, and it would be Logan Couture that would strike to make it 2-0.
Marlowe digging it free, cycles it back now to Couture. Checked by Hornqvist, trying to clear it. It's up on the right boards. Braun, the shot, score! Logan Couture was in front of the net, and the shot right away from Braun from the point gives the Sharks a 2-0 lead in Game 5.
That's Justin Braun giving it over to Logan Couture. 2-0 Sharks in that game, and as it turned out, the Penguins fought back and tied the game, and then Melker Karlsson picked up the winner, but Logan Couture was in on that too.
Spinning it up the boards to the point, Burns, cross ice, Dillon throwing it toward the front of the net, tipped in front, chance, Karlsson, he scores! Melker Karlsson, tic-tac-toe. The Sharks lead 3-2 with 5:13 left in the first.
And then we get back to the final game played in that memorable playoff series. People forget that Logan Couture scored the one goal in Game 6.
Rebound left corner. Zubris again, finishing his check. Hard against Schultz. Dillon stepping in, nailing Hagelin. But the puck slipped back behind the Pens net. And the Penguins just clear it. Brought down by Burns. Turns. Looks to the left. Tipped forward by Karlsson with Couture. Shoots. Score! Karlsson got it to Couture, and Logan stick handle to the middle of the ice and got a wrister that got through Murray. The San Jose Sharks are on the board at 6:27 of the second period, and the crowd goes nuts as Game 6 is tied 1-1.
Listen to that crowd at SAP Center at San Jose, Ted. All those memories they're going to come back to when the Sharks return to the postseason. Logan Couture, a huge part of that. And people forget, he missed a whole bunch of games that season going into the playoffs. He got injured in practice in New Jersey and missed a whole bunch of games from October until the end of December. And in December, he ended up getting a big assist on a Brent Burns goal.
Burns looks to the left side of Couture. He's got Marlowe in front. There's the pass. Oh, a great defensive play there by the D. Knocked away. Pavelski keeps into Thornton. Into the right circle. Down low. Couture in front. Burns shoots. Score! Brent Burns is not going to miss that one from inside the left wing faceoff circle. And Burns with a war whoop gets this thing really cranking at SAP Center as the Sharks have tied it 2-2.
That was against the Philadelphia Flyers on December 30th, 2015, when he came back from injury. But he was typical Logan after the game when he talked to us when he was asked how he felt.
Not great, but that's to be expected. But now I can enjoy it. It's really, Heidi, there's not a feeling that compares to when you step on the ice and you get back into the game when you're sitting out for a while. Just pure happiness and joy. I mean, that's when I'm having the most fun, is when I'm playing hockey. So I think it was good to feel like a hockey player again. It's been a long road to come back. This has been my toughest stretch, career-wise, life-wise. Some scary injuries, so it's good to get back.
Well, that's very, very typical Logan Couture, and you heard him talk about feeling like a hockey player again. That's something that he's missed essentially for the last 2 years.
And I will always point to the fact that when he did come back for those 6 games for brief period last year, the Sharks put together some wins. They got points in overtime, 4-1-1 in that stretch. And he just, you could tell that he was not fully in shape. He had that assist on that goal to Marc-Edouard Vlasic where you saw him just losing his breath, but he still got the puck forward.
That was his most recent point on a goal by Marc-Edouard Vlasic for the San Jose Sharks last season. Here comes Couture down the right side. He's running out of gas. He feeds in front. Vlasic shoots, and he scores! What a job by Logan Couture, running out of energy at the end of a shift. He came down the right wing side. He got help from Vlasic, and the Sharks defenseman tipped it in to make it 1-0 San Jose with 4:54 left in the second. And he was coming back from injury on that play. But you know what? Logan Couture gave everything he had whenever he was on the ice. So typical, coming back, running out of gas, and assisting on that fantastic goal by another Sharks legend, Marc-Edouard Vlasic. It really, really is a special day. An amazing, amazing group of people here that are gathered. The entire Sharks team, the coaching staff, and a whole group of players. And right now it is time to turn over our festivities to the news conference. And here is Sharks Vice President Scott Emmert.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Scott Emmert. I'm the Vice President of Communications for the San Jose Sharks. I'd like to begin by welcoming those here in attendance at SAP Center, San Jose Sharks team and staff, distinguished members of our Sharks alumni, members of our Sharks Team Teal front office staff, as well as many members of the Bay Area media. Additionally, thank you to those who are watching us live on all the Sharks digital platforms, on NBC Sports California, and of course listening on the Sharks Audio Network. I wanted to provide a brief rundown of today's proceedings before we get started. In just a moment, we will turn it over to Logan Couture, who has an announcement to share with all of you today. Following Logan's remarks, we will have some comments from Sharks General Manager Mike Grier. Upon the completion of those remarks, we will have a video presentation on the monitors on both sides of the stage. And then finally, we will take questions for both Logan and Mike from the media members who are assembled here today. I would encourage the members of the media to utilize that time to get comments from both gentlemen here on the stage. So without further delay, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the captain of the San Jose Sharks, Logan Couture.
Thanks, Scotty. First of all, I just want to thank everyone who has come here today, taking the time out of their days. It's a quote that a few of you have heard. I said it at my wedding. The greatest gift that you can give someone is your time, and I appreciate that you guys have given me some of your time today. My career of playing hockey has come to an end. I'm not physically able to play anymore. It's tough, it sucks, but it is what it is. And, I loved and cherished every single moment that I got to play in this league. The NHL is everything that I thought it would be when I was a kid. I dreamed of playing in the NHL. I think 3 years old was the first time that I got on the ice, and I remember watching TSN or certain games, and it was all I wanted to do. I go back and I look at photos that my parents have of me. I'm around my son's age, around 2, and about 95% of them I got a hockey stick or a lacrosse stick in my hand, and I was just obsessed with sports. It was what I wanted to do really my entire life. I remember when I was in, I think I was in 8th or 9th grade, we had a hockey practice on a Friday night, and we also had a dance at my school on a Friday night, and I played with a few guys that went to the same school as me, and they were on the same hockey team as me, and we were talking about if we were going to go to the dance or go to practice, and I was convinced I wasn't skipping hockey practice, but those guys are going to skip the practice. And I remember I was at my friend's house, and he said to his mom, he said, "Can you believe that Logan's not going to the dance on Friday?" And she just looked at me and him, and she said, "Yeah, of course, because Logan can't take a hockey stick to the dance." And that was just what I was. I was obsessed with the game and with sports, and I'm so proud of what I was able to accomplish as a player and what we were able to accomplish here in San Jose. We had some incredible teams. I had so much fun playing here. I really did. I'm going to take so many memories of my career. I just want to share a few with you guys that stick out when I was writing this and putting this together. My first NHL game was in October in 2009. I remember that we played in Worcester the night prior. I think it was a Saturday, and we won. After the game, I was excited. We just won the hockey game, and Roy Sommer called me into his office at the DCU Center, and he said, "You're going up." And my jaw must have hit the floor because I didn't say anything for a few minutes, but couldn't believe it. That next day, flew to Philadelphia, and the whole day was kind of a whirlwind. I really don't remember much about that day, but I remember when I walked out to the ice and warm up, and I just couldn't believe how loud the music was and how bright all the lights were, and skating around and warm up. And I was just thinking, you did it. You made it. This is what you wanted to do. And, I could have finished after that one game and been happy. Skipped all those dances for a reason, I guess. But my first NHL goal in Detroit at the Joe on Chris Osgood. I had friends and family there. And for me, it was special because the Red Wings were the dynasty in the late 90s and the early 2000s. And they were the team that I always watched. And, I love Steve Yzerman. So that was a special moment, especially to do it at that arena. That arena, it just felt different when you walked in there. There's so much history. And, so that's a special moment. And over the years, so fortunate to win so many playoff games here. But two come to mind when I thought about favorite games that I played in. Game 6, 2016 against St. Louis. I scored into the empty net with about 30 seconds left. And I remember skating around to clinch the series. I remember skating around the net. And I looked at Sharks fans in the front row, and they were cheering, but the looks on their faces, it was almost disbelief and relief put together that we were going to go play in the Stanley Cup Finals. And I remember Patty and Pav came into the pile soon after that, and they had that same look on their face that couldn't believe it, but it felt so nice. Unfortunately, we didn't win it all. We fell short that year, but that was a special year. And then I think you guys know what other game I'm going to say. 2019 Game 7 against the Golden Knights here. What a game. The energy in this building, unmatched, loudest building I've ever been inside. I've told this story to a lot of the guys on our team that asked me about it, but if you've ever been to a nightclub and sat beside the speaker for a couple hours, and then you leave that nightclub and you're on the street and your ears are ringing and you can't hear what anyone's saying, that's what it was like between the third period and overtime. Guys were trying to talk to me, I was trying to talk to them, but I couldn't understand or even hear what they were saying. Thankfully, Goody was there to win that one for us. And another funny story about that night, the game ends, and obviously the adrenaline and the energy was unmatched and off the chart. And I went out to the family room, and Goody's dad was there. And he gave me a big hug, and he whispered in my ear, what was Barkley doing on the ice? I always thought that was hilarious. We didn't win it all, but we came really close. We had years, we were 8, 7, 6, and 2 wins away from it all. So we had some really good runs, and I'm just proud of those teams that we had. I'm also extremely fortunate that I was able to spend my entire career here in San Jose with the Sharks. I'm honored to have been a Shark for this long. I don't only have amazing hockey memories of this place, I have my family memories. My 2 kids are born here, so this place will always be special. The other thing about those teams that I played on that we're so good is just how much fun it was. And that's testament to the leadership we had on the teams, to the coaching staffs, to the management. You guys just made it fun for us, and Jumbo, Patty, Pav, Burnsy, et cetera, the list goes on. We had so many great people, and I'll always remember those days fondly. There's just so many great people in this organization, players, staff, front office. I'm always going to be a Sharks fan. I want the Sharks to win so badly. I hope it's soon, because all you people here, you deserve to win. This franchise deserves it, and the fans deserve it as well. I just hope that I'm remembered as a player that worked extremely hard and someone that would do anything to win, whether that was scoring, blocking shots, really anything. All right, this will be the tough part. I have people that I want to thank, people that meant a lot to me in my career. Okay, John Thornton and Joe Resnick for guiding me through a lot of things, contracts, life. I've known you guys since the early 2000s, so I appreciate everything you guys have done for me. Brian Kilray. If some of you guys don't know who Killer is, Google him. He's a legend. He's my coach in junior, as old school as they come. One image that will always be on my mind of Killer is after a win. He had his room across from our dressing room, and that's where his buddies would go and have a few beers as soon as the game ended. And one game I had to go ask him something. About 5 minutes after it ended, I walked over and knocked on the door, and Killer comes out. He's got a Molson export in each hand and a stogie in his mouth. big smile on his face, and that's just killer. I mean, he was old school, and he was so good for me and my career. I want to thank Kevin Compton and the Compton family for the early years of my career. You guys treated me really, really well. Hasso Plotner. The only thing you can really ask of an owner is give your team a chance to win, and Hasso continues to do that. And I'm forever grateful for Hasso, or to Hasso for that. Doug Wilson, Tim Burke, thank you for drafting me in 2007. You guys traded up a few times to pick me that day, and I always wanted to prove you guys right and show that it was worth it. I'm glad that I was able to, at least in my mind, I believe I was. And then Doug, just thanks for believing in me time and time again to keep me here in San Jose, and also for giving us so many chances to win with bringing players in and signing players. And yeah, we always had a chance to win with the moves that you made, so I appreciate it. And and also for making the best trade in pro sports and bringing Jumbo to San Jose. I think everyone here in San Jose is pretty happy about that. In my career, thank you for continuing to believe in me and giving me every opportunity to come back and play. This team's in good hands, and I know you guys are going to do well, and I hope it's soon. So my coaches, Roy Sommer, amazing for me in the American League. It was so enjoyable. I think it's impossible to spend time around Roy and not have fun. Every day was enjoyable. My start into pro hockey was amazing because of you and Mo. I appreciate both of you guys. All right. Mike Ricci, thank you for teaching me how to properly tip the puck. I think you added about 10 to 15 goals to my career. I just remember your infectious personality, your positivity. You always had a smile on your face. You tried to put one on my face even when it was impossible to do. So thanks, Reach. I appreciate you. Bob Bugner, Dave Quinn, great humans, great coaches. I enjoyed our times together. Todd McClellan. Todd was great for me. Meant a lot to me. Was a perfect coach for me to start my career. He kept me driven, kept me on the right path. I was young. Obviously, when you're young, you do dumb things sometimes, but Todd always had my back, but he knew how to keep me going in the right direction, and he really believed in me. That's where I got my start, was under him, so I'm forever grateful to Todd, Pete DeBoer and Steve Spott as well. Those two are the best. They're so impactful and influential in my life, not just hockey, but off the ice. I consider you two friends, and we're going to be friends for the rest of my life. You guys are unbelievable. The staff. Some people have been here my entire career, longer than that, obviously, but the entire time that I've been here, Roy Sneeze, Pierre Nufo, Mikey Aldrich, you guys work so hard behind the scenes. You guys never get enough credit. So I just want you to know that I appreciate you, and all the players appreciate you. And Mikey, I'm going to miss talking to you in your room. If anyone, I know the players know, but if you ever go into Mikey's office, it's like a time vortex. You're stuck in there for 45 minutes, and you know the time's gone, so I'll miss that, Mikey. I will. Potsy, Steve-O, Vinny, Razor, Wes, Will, Johnny Peters, guys that are here and guys that aren't here anymore, Ryan Kelsey. Just thanks, guys. I mean, your hours are insane. What you do is crazy, but you never complain. You love it. And players appreciate you. Some front office people, same thing. They've been here a long time, longer than me, but they're gonna stick around longer as well. Ryan Stan, Rosemary Tavaldi, Scotty Emmert. Just thanks for what you guys have done. You've made my life so easy just to play hockey, and my family can, not worry about what the things they don't have to worry about, because you guys are there to help them with that. Whew. And this is near the end. All right. My wife, Brielle, it's not easy being an athlete's wife. The travel's crazy. You've given up a lot in your life to be there for me, and you're an amazing mother to our two kids. So I love you, and I love you guys. My parents, Chet and Lori, and my brother, Judson. You guys sacrificed just so much for me to live my dream. So I love you guys, and I know I'll do that for my kids. All right, my teammates. That's how I want to end it with. When I came into this league, I didn't realize how many guys I was going to play with, and you never realize that you're going to play with so many people from so many different cultures and countries, and that's been the most fun for me is learning how guys grow up, and everyone has a different story, and just learning guys' stories and getting to know them has been really, really cool. I was so lucky that when I first broke into the league, I had some of the greatest role models that you can find in this game. And I was also fortunate that first year Todd pulled me into his office, and this is something for guys in the team now to maybe do is he told me a few months into my first season, he said, I have something for you to do. These 5 players, you're going to watch them for the next 3-4 months, and you're going to find the thing that they all do the best. And when you find that thing, that's what you're going to work on in practice. You're going to watch them do it in games, and you're going to watch the clips of them doing it in games. And that was Jumbo, Patty, Pav, Boiler, and Ryan Clough. And Patty was easy because he did everything good. But for him, it was shoot and stride. And Jumbo, same thing. It was him stick handling with his head up and not looking at the puck. Chloe protected the puck so well. I'm not as big as Chloe is, but I try to take that into my game. Pav tipping pucks, and Boiler's heart. The guy played with the biggest chip on his shoulder you'll ever find, and his passion and his drive. And I was fortunate for that conversation because that's what I tried to do, and I feel like that made me such a better player. And for those guys, just thank you. You guys are tremendous role models and leaders for me. And one last story about a player that I played with that I'll share with you guys that are here, the players. You guys might know, I don't know if he's here today, Jamal Mayers. I think he's on television with the Sharks right now. But my first year, I sat at SAP Center in a stall. Patty was to my left and Jammer was to my right. And the season was a few weeks old, and Jammer, he looked at me and he said, "How old are you?" And I think at the time I was 21. And at that time he was about 35 or 36. And he just kind of shook his head, and I said, "Why?" He said, "I'd do anything to go back and do it all over again. Anything. To go back to being 21 and restarting this whole thing." And I kind of laughed, and he said, no, listen, like seriously, you're going to blink, then you'll wake up, and it's all over. And it's true. It goes by so fast. And his message was just enjoy it. And I thought about that as much as I possibly could, because there's tough times. The season gets monotonous. You lose a lot of games sometimes. But try and find some joy in it, because this is the best league in the world, and you're privileged to play in this league. So enjoy every last game that you get, because you never know when it's going to end, boys. And then lastly, just to the fans, thank you. First time I came to San Jose in 2007, I could just see and feel the passion that Sharks fans had. And there's one quote, I don't know who said it to me, I think it was a fan that grabbed me in the street. He said, people here, they're not hockey fans. And I said, "What do you mean?" He said that they're Sharks fans. Like, they love the Sharks. This is our team here. And that stuck with me, obviously, till this day. I just want to say thank you for making SAP Center the hardest building for other teams to come into and play against us. You ask players that played from the mid-2000s to, a couple years ago, what their goal was in the first 10 minutes of the game, and it was just survive. Try not to get down by 2 or 3, and that's a credit to the fans. It's a credit to our team. But, just thank you guys. I appreciate it.
I'll try and follow that up. But first of all, congrats on a great career. You've been a great representative of this organization for a long time, great player, great teammate, great person, and you're going to go down as one of the greatest players here in Sharks history. When I first started going through this process for this job with Jonathan and Joe, and then was fortunate enough to get the job, the player I most was excited to work with was you. I always admired you from afar. the 200-foot game, the quiet intensity and competitiveness, and of course the clutch performances. And when I was probably 10 or 11, my dad told me the best players play their best in the biggest games. And that was you. You know, you were a clutch playoff performer, dominant in the playoffs. In the biggest games, in the biggest moments, you were at your best. And it's something I really admired. And it's rare. It's rare for you to find a player that impacts the game in all three zones, excels in every facet of the game. But you were that. You were one of those rare players. You could score a goal. You could set up your teammates. You were excellent on the power play and the penalty kill. Strong on face-offs. And if you needed a goal in the last minute, or if you were defending a goal in the last minute, you were the guy the coaches wanted out there. You're the consummate pro and leader, both on and off the ice. You led by example through your work ethic, through your competitiveness, through your compassion, through your commitment, and in the way you played the game. You always did everything the right way. And we're going to miss you. I think, you know, it's for us, as for me personally, and for our group, it's a sad day, but it's also for me, having been on your side of it. It's a happy day for me, for you, because I think of what's next in your next chapter, and I'm excited for you, because I know whatever comes next for you, you'll do great at. And also excited for you to be able to enjoy life, enjoy your family with Brielle and the kids. I know that's a special time for you, and I know you're looking forward to it, so I'm really happy that you guys will be able to have this time together and enjoy it together. Thank you. You know, at some point, I think as I've told you, I think you're a brilliant hockey mind, and you know, down the road when the time comes and Brielle's had enough of you around the house, you know, there's always a job here with you here with the Sharks. So, congratulations. Thanks. Okay.
Thank you, Mike and Logan. Those very moving remarks. Right now, I'd like to direct your attention to the two video screens. There were a few people who couldn't make it here today, but did want to share their appreciation of Logan and his tremendous NHL career.
I'm honored to be able to send a message to you about the amazing career that you had. It doesn't seem like it's that long ago that in 2007 I called Brian Kilrea, our former junior coach from the Ottawa 67s, and said, "Tell me about Logan." And he said he's going to be a great NHL player. He does it all. He's going to be a great leader. He's tough. And boy, was he right. I look at the career that you had with the San Jose Sharks and how you represented us in the community. You belong in the Mount Rushmore of Sharks players. How you played, hard, played through injuries, you came back, you did all the little things. You're truly a player's player. Look at the numbers you put up in the playoffs when it really mattered. You were the guy we were always counting on, and you always came through for us. I think no further than the famous comeback against Vegas, and just how you drove that whole moment and doing something in real time like that and leading the group. I want to wish all the best to you and your entire family, and how fortunate all of us were to work with you, watch you play, watch you grow, and become the person that you are. The NHL was a better place because of you, and the San Jose Shark organization cannot thank you enough for everything that you've done for us. Enjoy the night, enjoy your family, be healthy, my friend.
Hey, Coach, just reaching out to congratulate you on an incredible career. Unfortunately, it didn't end the way you wanted it to, but don't look at these days as defining it. Your early career, your mid-career, and certainly all the playoff games you play, Those should be the memories that you take with you, and it was an honor to be part of a small part of your career. I thank you for all your effort, and enjoy your family and retired life.
Congratulations, Logan, on your retirement. What a career. I feel very honored to have been able to coach you for a small part of it. But some of my fondest memories, 900-plus games in the NHL, what an accomplishment. More important to me, though, what you'll be remembered as is the 116 playoff games you played, where, arguably you were one of the biggest and most clutch playoff players in San Jose Shark history, including 30 points in 24 playoff games on our way to the Stanley Cup final in 2015. So, my memories and how I would describe Logan Couture is leadership, grit, and a big game player. I hope you enjoy the rest of your next chapter and your wife and kids, and again, feel very honored to have played a small part in the great career you had.
What's up, Logan? Dan Boyle, obviously, just grayer and older. Obviously heard the news today. I want to say congratulations, man. Was fortunate enough to play 18 years, and you were one of my favorite players to play with. A heart and soul kind of a guy. Will do anything to win. You were one of my favorite players to play. I was thrilled to help you along the way, although I don't think you needed much help. Just try to show you to work hard, and I didn't have to show you that. You knew that already. So congrats, welcome to the retirement club, and looking to take some of that fresh money, that fresh retirement money, a quart of all from you on the golf course, buddy. Cheers, congratulations, and very, very proud of you. Amazing career.
Hey Logan, it's Rob Blake here in LA. Just wanted to take a second to congratulate you on a terrific career. You're a real pro every day, right from the start when I first met you. All the best to you going forward. Sharks fans, you got a real good one in Cooch.
Coach, what's up, big guy? I just want to congratulate you on an awesome career. So many great memories together. You were always a guy that played hard, the right way. Just so clutch. I think if I could take one thing away, your clutchness is second to none. So good in the playoffs. Such a fun guy to watch every day at practice, just doing things right. And definitely for me, a guy I always learned from and strive for as I was screwing up drills. I could lean over and watch and see you do it right. So hopefully you enjoy the rest of this next phase for you. Congrats again, buddy. Miss you.
Cooch, what's up? Congrats on a great career, first off. Incredible player, person, teammate. I went through this day not too long ago, and there's all kinds of emotions that go on, but at the end of the day, you need to know that teammates absolutely love playing with you, and there was never a question about how much you cared for us, your team, the organization, and doing it the right way and playing the game in an honest way. And we had a lot of great runs together. You showed up in the biggest moments throughout the playoffs, and our runs were always exciting at the tank. And I'm excited for this day for you. Congrats, enjoy it. All kinds of emotions will come, but just really excited to be able to play with you and call you a teammate and a great friend, and wish you the best.
Hey Coach, I just want to congratulate you for an amazing career. I'm really happy I could play with you for 11 years. I think it was a great time together, and we have some great games, great laughs over the years, and I will always miss it and always remember. I just want to again say thank you very much for everything what you did for me, but for all your organization, and I miss you, Tommy.
San Jose is proud to select from the Ottawa 67's Logan Couture.
San Jose drafted me, so this organization means everything to me. I want to represent this organization as well as I possibly can.
Sharks. Pass off to the wing. Shot and a goal! Logan Couture with his first National Hockey League goal here in Detroit.
Timo Myers on it. Here's Myers shooting. Loose in front. Couture scores! Here's Couture shooting. Scores! Couture with the hat trick goal.
Logan Couture is one of those guys who has every single thing you are looking for in an elite hockey player. He is smart, he can score goals, he can make plays, he competes.
Here's Ryan Claude with Logan Couture. Couture scores! There's goal number 18. Here's Couture, he gets past Downey, and it's saved now. He scores! Logan Couture finds the opening. A chance for the Sharks, and they score! Logan Couture on the opening shift of the game. 2-on-1, Claude to Couture, scores! Over to Couture, scores! They've done it! They've come all the way back! We are tied! Good effort by Couture, and he scores! Logan Couture! For the Sharks, up against Carlo to the net, they score! Logan Couture! Right back in comes Couture. He's got room, takes the shot, and scores! Logan Couture with a great goal!
I was drafted here. I love this place. I love the fans here, and very grateful that I get to play for this organization. I can't see myself playing anywhere else.
Down to the center zone. Here's a chance for Logan Couture. Walking in, he scores! Logan Couture! Claude moved the puck into the attacking end. Shot save, rebound. Logan Couture scores again. Heatley sets up. Thornton settles the puck back across the middle. Chance for Couture. Scores! A power play goal for Logan Couture.
Definitely proud of the way that my career went and the teams I played on.
All right, at this point, we will go ahead and open it up to questions for members of the media who are here today. We ask that you raise your hand. We do have microphones on each side, and a member of the Sharks Media Relations team can bring the microphone to you. Logan is requesting that if the players would like to make their way out, because since they get to deal with the media tomorrow, they are quietly able to remove themselves. We really appreciate you guys coming today.
Okay.
I tried. Curtis.
Curtis Michalka, Bay Area News. Congratulations on a terrific career.
Thank
Logan. When did you finalize this decision, and just how hard was it to accept that your playing career was over?
I don't think there was a date that it was finalized. I think, through the whole process, that last game I played in Anaheim, I was in a ton of pain, and I took a second at the end of the game to kind of look around and just in case, So I guess it's been in my mind that there was a chance that could have been it since that game, but this summer I focused on training and rehab and working as hard as I possibly could. But I just could never get close to putting a couple good days together. I would get, two good days and then be sore and have to stop for a few days. And I never got close to getting back onto the ice since that last game in January of last year. I think a few months of really grinding through some rehab this September and October and November was hard on my body, so I guess I could say probably around that time I had an idea that it wasn't gonna work.
Josh Dubois from AP, congrats on your
Thank
career.
you.
What did it mean to you watching the way your teammates, your coaches on that video talked about you, and just how gratifying was it to hear?
Yeah, that's special. I mean, those are high quality people. That's what makes it even more special. those people mean a lot to me. So that's something that, it means a lot.
Max Miller, NHL.com. Congratulations on a great career.
Thank you.
You've seen a lot of faces come through here, but just the way the organization handled the patience with you to see if you could come back. Yeah. Can you just speak to just how the organization and treats their players and how much they really helped you through maybe one of the hardest times in not only your hockey career but your life?
They gave me every chance to do whatever I thought I could possibly do to come back and play. I went and saw a number of specialists, specialists on the West Coast, specialists on the East Coast. So I'm grateful for the Sharks for giving me, the time and the space and the effort to see if we could make it work. So, it means a lot to me. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but I have nothing but great things to say about how they handled it for me.
Logan, Sheng Peng, San Jose Hockey Now. Logan, congratulations.
Thank you.
Just can you talk about the emotional toll of all this? You're a very passionate player, and every time we've spoken about this, is obviously a very emotional thing for you.
Yeah, the mental side of it's tough. It's similar to when you lose in the playoffs, and it's like you run into a brick wall, and the season ends, and then you don't know what to do. With this, it's a little bit different because it's physical, and when it's at its worst, there's days where I'm pretty sore. I can't really do a lot. I've got 2 young kids, so a lot of thoughts were going through my mind of what I was, really trying to accomplish at sorry, my son's running around up here, but it was tough mentally. It was a grind. There's tough days. There's better days, but part of the support the Sharks have here, there's people to talk to, and so that helped big time. But I'm in a good spot right now. I've come to peace with it the last little while. We tried everything we possibly could. It just didn't work.
Logan, Alan Hoshida with NBC Sports. Congrats on your career.
Thank you.
You talked about your family and your son's up here and you have 2 young ones. How much did that impact your decision because of what you want to do and what the father you want to be here post-playing?
I would say slightly, but not that much. I mean, yes, I want to play with my kids when I get older, and obviously that comes into my mind when I do have those days where I'm limping around and struggling to get up and down. But I wanted to be a hockey player, and maybe I was selfish, and I was going to do whatever it took to get back to playing. I wanted them to be able to remember me playing, but unfortunately that's not the way it goes, and I'm looking forward to my life with them.
So Logan, it's Charanbir Mahal from INDTV USA. A lot of my great memories of hockey obviously include you, and as you mentioned, Joe there, and Marlo, and so on. And that game that you mentioned, the Stanley Cup, my family was here and my kids were crying, and it was such an emotional thing. So, thanks for great memories. Now, this is such a passion for you. You spent your whole life on this, and there's a moment, when you're going through the process, thinking you could come back. You mentioned the struggles, maybe 2 games you could put together, but at some point, someone helps you to get over that final moment, final decision. What was that? Was it your family? Was it something personally you had to dig deeper to make that final sort of leap of faith there?
I think when I finally knew was, each time that I would try and ramp it up, I would be in pain, it would be sore, and that was gradually getting worse. So once that was continuing and it was getting worse and getting worse and getting worse each time where I would try and go hard, that's what scared me. Because when it gets really bad, it's really bad. And I didn't want to get back to that. So I just didn't think that I was going to get better. I didn't think I was going to get back on the ice. And, I don't know if I will in the future. Definitely not to play any games in the near future. But hopefully one day I can take my kids out on the ice and skate, and I'm good enough to do that. But we'll see.
Curtis? Logan, how do you, maybe Mike just said, obviously you've got a job here, whatever you wanted, but just in the meantime, how do you kind of maybe plan to stay involved with the team? The coaching staff has talked about how much they appreciate you as a resource. Is that something you're interested in, maybe just kind of being around and being an extra set of eyes or something along those lines?
Probably there's one game left, so probably not this year, but we'll see. I mean, I've been on hockey's been my life since I was 3, and you know, it's going to be weird to wake up and not really have a schedule, and I'm going to enjoy as much time with my kids as I possibly can when they're this young, because it goes by quick, and they're not going to be this young forever, obviously. So I'm going to take some time with my family, and we'll go from there.
Max?
Question for you, Mike. Just obviously you've seen behind the scenes more than anybody else what he's gone through. How has he continued? How's Logan continued to help this young core, and you know, building off similar to Curtis's last question, just what has he meant to this roster?
Well, I think he's been not just this year, but you know, the 3 years. I think he's been invaluable to our group with his experience, his leadership, and just even now, even this year, I think talking to the young players about what the organization is about. The old playoff games, and I know the guys are always asking questions about that, and then I think he gave me advice about what he saw on the ice. I'd ask him every now and then what he thought of how we were playing or how guys were playing, and I think the coaches leaned on him as well. So I think he was there to give advice to the players and also myself and the coaching staff. So it's been very, very valuable to have not only this year but all 3 years.
Go to Shang, and then we can take 1 or 2 more if we have them.
Logan, do you see long-term, though, that your future is in hockey somehow, be it in coaching or management or anything like that?
If I had to guess, I'd say yes, but I don't know. I love hockey. Obviously, it's all I've ever done. I never really worked a real job outside of this, so I feel like I know the game well. I can think the game well. So I do see a future, but not anytime too soon. Just going to take some time with the kids and figure it out from there.
And with your specific injury, is there any kind of hope that just one day, a few months from now, that it'll just be better and you might be able to kind of skate and try to play or anything like that, or you kind of rule that out?
No, I don't think that's going to happen. I think it'll gradually get better if I stop training specifically for hockey. I do believe that I will feel better than I do on a day-to-day basis right now. That's what I've heard from a lot of people who have dealt with this injury before. So I'm hoping that's the case for me.
Anything else? All right. Well, this concludes the formal portion of our press conference today. Logan, on a personal note, I want to sincerely thank you for your professionalism and friendship throughout your Sharks career. You've been a first-class representative of the Sharks organization on and off the ice, and a tremendous example of a team captain. So all of us here at the Sharks organization want to wish you the best, your family, your health, and look forward to having you part of this organization for a long time. So thank you. Thank you, everybody, for being here today.
Thanks, Jersey. Appreciate it. It was great. So, the formal portion of the news conference has come to a close. Just a very emotional scene here at SAP Center at San Jose. We have the entire Sharks team here. So many people. Ryan Clough is here, one of the many Sharks alumni, Joe Thornton, Patrick Marleau, and, of course, we heard from a lot of alumni that weren't here, Ted.
No, it was really great to see all the things that we got to see from all those different players that were a part of that video presentation, hearing from Dan Boyle, hearing from Brent Burns, all of them talking about just what a competitor he was and how much, they loved playing with him. And obviously they kept on bringing up his playoff performances. And that was the thing that really stuck out to me, because I can remember back, watching the warm-ups before playoff games. You could tell that guys were amped, they were juiced. But Logan was always the coolest guy on the ice. And I think that's one of those things that you pay attention to where in the biggest moments, he was not redlining. He wasn't revving hot. He was always the cool customer out there on the ice, which was probably such a huge reason of why he had so much success in the biggest games and in the biggest moments for the San Jose Sharks. Obviously, alluding back to that comeback in 2019 against Vegas and, the camera catching him going, that's one. That moment right there, that encapsulates so much of what Logan Couture did throughout his career. He was always chipping and grinding away and going for the maximum. And that, to me, just tells why so many people wanted to show up for him today. When he told the players that they could go, that they had a game to get ready for tomorrow, not a soul moved. No one even considered doing anything but sitting there and giving him the maximum amount of time and respect that he's deserved and earned over the course of his career.
For me, I think that might be my favorite moment of Logan Couture, and it just so happened, I blurted it out because I saw him say, "That's one."
Yeah.
And the fact is that it reminded me of what Bob Airy said all those years ago in 1994 when he sat down at dinner with a couple of the boys and he wrote down on the back of a napkin 16 things that help you win the Stanley Cup. And one of them was you're never out of a game. There might be a 5-minute major penalty and you could score multiple goals. And I said, yeah, that's possible. And then all of a sudden, it actually really happened.
No, it was a remarkable moment, and Logan was right. One of those moments we will never forget in the history of the San Jose Sharks, as now we are being joined by a special guest.
Yes, head coach Ryan Warsofsky was witnessing this with the entire team. First of all, Coach, really great to see the entire team here to show that respect for Logan Couture. Just give us your thoughts on today.
Yeah, awesome. All the support that was here from obviously the front office, coaches, players, training staff, you know, and to support Cooch and his career, what he's done for this organization, you really can't put into words. And, you know, I think our young players just saw a captain, a winner, a clutch performer, a competitor, and I hope they took a lot of what he said to heart, because that's the next generation that's coming. But happy for Cooch and his family, and to be recognized as, you know, for what he's done for this organization was a really cool and neat day.
Amazing playoff performer, 30 points in the playoffs the year that the team went to Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final. You had a couple of years of him on the staff.
Yeah.
Didn't get a chance to be the head coach of a team that he played for, but even in the 6 games last year, what about the impact?
Yeah, huge impact. You could see it in my couple years as assistant coach with him. Running the penalty kill, his bright hockey mind, his hockey IQ, the way he could read plays. You know, very, very smart, you know, instinctive hockey player, competitor. Like he said, he did everything. He'd score, he'd fight, he'd block a shot, he'd want him out there at the end of the game. You know, he makes you feel comfortable as a coach, and that's something that I'll take, just being work with him for a couple of years. And then when I got the head coaching position, I leaned on him a lot. He's you know, played under some really good coaches, and you know, played on some good teams and how they won and how they played, and all the details that go into that. So I still talk to him throughout this year, and some tough days that he's had, and you know, I think we'll stay in contact, you know, as long as I'm in this position and he's around. So you know, I kind of can call him a friend now, because again, a guy that I really leaned on as a young first-year NHL head coach. This is a player that's been through a lot and seen a lot. So he's taught me a lot, as much as I hope I've impacted him in different ways.
Did you ever laugh about the fact that a guy who was the captain, who had so much to teach all these young players, was not able to be out there on the ice for so many, the young team that you had? Did you ever just sit there and be like, well, that's just the way it goes in life, I guess?
Yeah. You know, it's funny, when we were sitting down there, Brian Wiseman said he whispered in my ear how much we missed him, you know, and his leadership, his competitiveness, the way you have to play this game to play winning hockey. You know, I think our young players understand it. But when you see it and you feel it and you go through it, it's on a different level. So, in a sense, we're celebrating Cooch Day, but it's also a sad day, because he's our captain, and he really is. And he was around for our players, you know, especially early in the season with Mac and Will, and you'd see him eating lunch with them and breakfast with them and talking. And Will would ask him stories about the playoff runs and what this building was about. And I think that the more he can talk and tell these young players, the more and better off we're going to be in the long run.
Was it difficult for you to see him on the sidelines and not be able to be part of it? I mean, could you tell that it was bothering him, how much he wanted to be out there competing?
Yeah, big time. We'd sit in my office for hours and talk about it and talk about what he's going through, and especially early in the season when we got off to another slow start. So, you know, that's something that I'll always remember as well, is those long conversations that we had in my office. And we'd talk about everything from the injury to his kids. Obviously, my kids are young too. So, you know, I think, again, he's been so important for this organization for a long time, and again, for a lot of different people, he's impacted in a lot of different ways.
What do you think that he brings to the history of this team in terms of imparting on the next generation what it means to be a captain?
Yeah, I think and how you lead in different ways. He may not be the most vocal guy at times. I think he's a guy when he speaks, you really listen, and he's the one word you hear a lot in this today was clutch. That's what I hope that our players, because we're going to be in the playoffs, hopefully very soon, and going on these runs, and I think you have to play a certain way, but you have to, like he said, the best players play the biggest games at the biggest moments, and the most competitive people do that, and he was ultra competitive, and he was clutch, and I'm hoping those are two big words that our guys understood.
Also today, it's very obvious he's a very, very intense family man. The
Yeah.
fact that his two kids are here, his wife Brielle, they've got a really wonderful family unit going on. What about that side of it for a professional hockey player, a young kid like Will Smith or Macklin Celebrini to look at this?
Yeah, it's I think when you're young, you're a little naive to the National Hockey League and the bright lights and everything that goes with it. But this is their life, and this is what Cooch, like he said, this is his only job he's ever had, and being you have two young kids and your wife that supports you through his training and in their summer hours when you get up in the morning and you're gone from 8 to 2 in the afternoon training, skating. Those are the things that I think people get lost in. They don't just go home and go on summer vacation. Our guys will go on 10 days of rest and 2 weeks of rest and recovery, and then it's right back in the gym and back into your routine of working out, getting stronger. They're not eating In-N-Out burger. They're eating healthy. There's a lot that just goes into playing in this league and being in great condition. And you peel that onion back and look behind it, it's a lot of supportive wives and kids and families that you need. And you could tell that that was an emotional part, and because it's hard to really describe to maybe the average person of what these athletes go through.
But in final analysis, as he moves on to the next chapter of his life, how does all of what he's experienced here, the discipline, the things that are required, the fact that he's a parent, balancing all that, how is that going to help him get to the next chapter, which is a hard step?
Yeah, it's extremely hard. And another thing that gets lost, and I remember working with Tim Gleason, who's assistant coach in Carolina now. He had a tough time when he retired because you're in the routine of you get up at 7:30 in the morning, you get to the rink, you have your breakfast, you have your meeting. There's a routine that goes through that, and all of a sudden you get that routine ripped from you, and you need support around you. And I think with his kids, his wife, his family, being in the Bay Area with some other retired guys, and Joe and Patty can really help him, support him, and get his routine back. And trust me, I've already asked him to be an assistant coach and be ready to go. So I think he's that bright of a hockey mind that he could be a really good coach. He'd be really good in a front office because he sees the game extremely well, and his experiences that he's gone through.
Thanks very much for coming on the show with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate you.
That is the head coach of the San Jose Sharks, Ryan Warsofsky, on the show with our good friend Logan Couture, making his announcement that his playing days have come to an end. And in fact, Logan Couture, I believe, is making his way over to our broadcast location here at SAP Center at San Jose. Maybe a couple of sales pitches from Ryan Warsofsky as they have a little chat right now. But I have to tell you, this is a day in which we all feel very proud here. Everybody who's been with the Sharks for a long time has seen this legion of great captains come through here. And their impact is not often really publicized. It's sometimes taken for granted.
Yeah.
Some of the little things that these guys have to do as the captain of a team to make sure that that things go right. And it is my great pleasure and my great honor to welcome the captain of the San Jose Sharks, Logan Couture, on the heels of this very momentous announcement to our broadcast today on the Sharks Audio Network. Logan, we're so proud of you. And the first thing that I noticed was just the love and the dedication you got from all of the Sharks players that are currently here. Many of them did not play with you. The ones that did certainly imparted what you were all about. What did it mean to you to have everybody here?
Yeah, it was cool to see. The current team, and then a lot of guys that I was fortunate to play many years with that took the time out of their day to come down here and be here for me and support me. And then a lot of guys that are still playing or coaching that sent their videos in. So meant a lot to me.
Well, I can tell you that from your very first goal against the Detroit Red Wings through the time when you looked at all your teammates and said, that's one, let's go get some more, you brought so much joy to this community. I thought you said that so well in your speech there when you first started. Tell us your thoughts now about the next step for you.
I don't know. We're going to see. I'm going to take some time and be a father for a bit. My kids are 21 months and 5 months, so we got our hands full at home. So going to do that, and then we'll see.
One thing, though, that you mentioned when you tell the story about Jamal Mayers, and he was on the air with me on this last road trip, he really said it well to say that it goes by in a flash, and you related that to experiencing time with your kids, too.
It's true. I remember when my son was born, and it's almost 2 years ago. It does go by fast. The days are long, the years are short. That's what they say with kids, and it's true.
It's very true. But I want to give you a hard time real quick because when you were up there, you said you wouldn't miss a thing. You'd do it all over again. But you've told me very detailed stories about doctors shoving their thumb into the roof of your mouth and taking a slap shot down low. So it's all part of the great memories, but maybe not relive every moment.
Yeah, some of the injuries I never want to deal with. I'm still scared of going to the dentist, to be honest with you. I've avoided them for 2 years just because of how many hours I had to spend with them to get my teeth all put in. But, yeah, it's a tough sport, a lot of injuries, but proud of the way I was able to battle through them.
Yeah, and obviously everyone that was, making video messages or talking about you, they talk about your playoff performances. And I was telling Dan, I remember watching you warm up before the games. You could tell guys were running hot, they're excited, but you were always just Mr. Cool. It just seemed like any other game for you. I'm sure it wasn't, but do you feel like that calm mentality of yours was a reason why you were able to have such a high-level performance in the postseason?
Yeah, it maybe helped. I mean, it's something my parents always told me, don't get too high, don't get too low. It's tough to do when you're in the moment, in the heat of it, especially playoff hockey. I mean, there's so many emotions that go into those games, and I mean, once the game started, I was ready to rock, but maybe that's just my facial expression all the time. I don't really show much emotion.
You do after the puck goes in, though.
That's
I've
true.
seen it a lot of times, and, of course, those fist pumps are great.
Sure.
Is there any moment that you haven't talked about yet that you just really, really relish, whether it's in the locker room or whether it's out on the ice?
There's a few of my teammates. Patty scoring his 500th goal, Jumbo's 400th. Those nights, Patty broke the record. And, just nights where they accomplish things where, I look at the score sheet and see 1,000 assists or 1,100 assists and just shake my head like, what world do these guys live in? Because those numbers are insane. So just fortunate to play with so many elite top-end players. And, the best part of those guys is that they're great people.
Well, 933 games as a member of the San Jose Sharks. You're fourth in all-time scoring with 701 points, over 300 goals. I really honestly think that you deserve the greatest respect, but not just as a hockey player, but also as a leader. What did it mean to you to be captain of the San Jose Sharks?
Yeah, it was an honor. I mean, anytime that you get a jersey or a letter put on your jersey, it means a lot. Especially that letter. There's 31 other possibilities in the world. So one of 32 is pretty cool. I definitely didn't take it for granted or take it lightly. I wanted to do the best that I could for this organization, and fortunately we never got to the playoffs, but tried as hard as I could.
You didn't get a chance to play with some of the kids that are here this year, Macklin and Will, but you got a chance to meet them and work a little bit with them. How excited are you about the future of the San Jose Sharks?
Very. I mean, if you watch those guys from their first game to where they're at now is special, and I got to look back and look at the year they were born. I mean, they're 18 and 19. It's crazy that they're playing this well at that age. So I'm excited for the Sharks. I think Grier's made a lot of great moves, and there's a bright future ahead.
As a final one for you, Logan, I know that you're a big sports fan. We've talked sports away from the arena before. Are you looking forward to that aspect of your life, of being able to watch an AFC championship game and not have a game of your own at the same time, and being able to just kind of take it in a bit more normal fashion?
I hope I can this year when the Bills get there. We'll see. But, yeah, I mean, I'm already planning Blue Jays games to go and take my son to. Unfortunately, it's in Sacramento this year. But we're going to go check out the Jays there. So a lot more life will open up. Hockey was obviously a large part of my life and took up a large part of my time. And, that time is free now to spend with my kids, so I'm looking forward to that.
Logan, you've given us a lot of joy as a player. As a broadcaster, it's been an honor to call all of your goals, and we're looking forward to seeing you. Congratulations on an amazing career. We're so proud of you.
Thanks, boys. You guys are the best. Appreciate you.
That is Logan Couture, the man of the hour today, as he joins us right here at SAP Center at San Jose. We have had an amazing show here today, and I have to tell you that there's a bit of a lump in my throat to see this guy's career come to an end.
No, for sure. I mean, just the ultra-competitive nature. And the one thing that I think, Dan, that fans don't understand is that Logan was professional to a fault. I don't think people through his interviews or watching him on TV, you couldn't always hear it in his voice or see it, just how much it meant to him, because he was always going to be the ultimate professional. But when you would get him away from the microphones and the cameras and things of that nature, you would get a little bit more of that human aspect of him. And the guy, I was able to do events with him in the summertime, and just how much fun he would have talking about sports and the way the love would permeate. It was a no-brainer that he became the captain of the San Jose Sharks. And I think that his personality is one that was unique because he became the captain at the end. That was the end of that era. And yes, it got interrupted by COVID, and obviously things changed for a couple of years there. And then, he had to deal with this injury. But in terms of someone who leads by example, in terms of someone who knows how to lead, in terms of someone who just is the right character, the right build for being a captain at that moment in time, you couldn't have asked for a better captain than Logan Couture.
That's a great way to end our news conference coverage here. Logan Couture has made the announcement that his career as a player has come to an end, and the next chapter begins for one of the greatest players, a man on Mount Rushmore in the history of the San Jose Sharks. For Ted Ramey, for the entire staff, I'm Dan Rusanowski saying so long for now.